I am your host today. Good morning. How's everyone doing? I hope everyone's well this morning. So, we are excited this morning because this is just going to be a great conversation between me and Amell this morning. We unfortunately we don't have a guest today. So, you might be a guest today, possibly, which is exciting. So, let us know if you are on, for sure. If you are interested, we're going to pick the best comment when it comes to the Father's Day topic. And based off the most intriguing comment, we'll bring them on live to share a little bit more. So take it away, Amell.
Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing? So we're here with our little cafecito. I'm gonna say it in Spanish today, get a little flair. So I'm drinking the Amazing Coffee by Jackie Camacho Ruiz. What are you drinking? Are you drinking Amazing Coffee too?
Yes, I have Amazing Coffee. I love Amazing Coffee. It's actually, we want to make sure that we share. It tastes like café de olla, right? So
Yes.
it is the bomb.com.
I know. I love it because of the cinnamon and the brown sugar. So tell us in the comments, what are you guys drinking? What are you drinking this morning?
Yes.
Share with us.
Share
And
with
if you
us.
and if you have like some interesting conjunction going on today, share with us so we can try it. Because we're heading to, heading to, and it's already almost the end of June. But we are in summertime. So during the summertime, I love the iced coffees. So I'm actually going to start drinking the iced coffee next Monday. So I'm going to try that with the Amazing Coffee. So tell us, what are you drinking? How you like your iced coffee, if you drink iced coffee?
Nice. I wonder how the Amazing Coffee would taste in iced coffee form. Like, right? Like with the whipped cream.
I know. I was going to try it today, but I was like, I don't know. Let me just go regular.
For sure.
But I'll try it next time. I usually don't put the whipped cream, though. I try to have like some kind of health thing, but you know.
Yeah. Yeah, the canela in itself makes it sweet enough. I think I don't put sugar at all, or I don't put anything in my coffee at all. Like rarely, you know. I think the more potent, the better. And actually, I learned when I was going on my health journey, just to share this on running the marathon, and even when I went vegetarian for almost 2 years, I really needed that coffee, man. Like, coffee was my life for both aspects, right? Because it was something that I really needed. And of course, I was really health conscious. So this is one thing I learned. Good coffee with no sugar or cream. You'll know what's real good coffee when you don't put sugar or cream or anything in it. Like, you'll develop this palate for it. So I think that's why I like coffee, because it's like, ooh, whose coffee's the best without anything, right? So we have.
Look at that. That's an interesting way. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. So we have Mary said, "Hey, Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We have Mary. She said, "Hey, my normal coconut milk and coffee." She got the coconut all the time. There are cold pressed containers to make it. So, yep, she knows She knows she sticks to her coffee. So, uh, and she put, yes, black coffee, my
Yeah,
normal coconut milk coffee. So I hope as you are jumping on, as people are jumping on, let us know what you're drinking. You might be a coffee drinker, you might be a tea drinker.
you might be.
Uh,
Yeah.
we know Amel. She is technically usually a tea drinker, y'all. So that is her norm. If you guys meet her, she's always like, "I'm out. I need my tea. I need my tea. I need my tea." And
I
for
know.
for this show, she actually drinks coffee, and especially to support, right, the sponsor that provides coffee for our guests and our hosts, the amazing coffee by Jackie Camacho. So we have some great conversations that we're going to have today. And I can probably see maybe some people might get a little heated by these conversations, right? Possibly. It is what it is. But the reason why it's good to have healthy conversations, and it's healthy to disagree. There's no there's nothing in the book that says, hey, you have to agree with everything that Amel says. You have to agree with everything that Jennifer says. Nothing in the books that say that, right? And I think I wanted to make sure I share that disclaimer, right? Because we love everybody regardless of people's opinions and thoughts, right? And I've had hiccups where people might say, hey, they get offended because I might disagree with something they might have said. But again, it's no hard feelings. This is a conversation and we respect everyone's opinion. So first of all, like I said, make sure I want to welcome everyone that's watching us. I know everyone's starting to go back to work and do everything, but we really wanted to focus on a couple of different topics. And I don't know, Amel, if you were aware about this whole Microsoft ban that's going on in Russia. I thought this was something interesting to discuss, right? Like, I don't know if people really are aware that Microsoft and Bill Gates is being banned out there. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
I had no idea, but I'm not gonna lie though, it does sound like normal Russian thing to do.
Right?
Like, to be like, I guess, okay, let me just rephrase that real quick. I watch a lot of movies where, like the Russian spies and the whatever, so that's why my comment came off like that. But I'm not surprised. Like, it is what it is. I think everybody's spying on them. And like,
Yeah, no. Good morning. I think it's good what you said, and I think people don't realize that. And good morning, Yamile. I wanted to make sure I say good morning. I see that she said good morning, and we have Mary. She said, I'm in Switzerland, LOL. I think she's saying it because of the type of coffee she's drinking. So Yamile, let us know what kind of coffee you're drinking, girlfriend. But going back to the Microsoft ban, right? And the reason why I brought this, I just thought when I was reading the article, it was talking about how Putin, right? He feels like there's no privacy and he wants to protect his citizens. That's what I read. And
Right.
we'll share the article in the comments section when we're done with the show. And I thought that was very interesting that you not only put a ban on Bill Gates, right? And with what's going on right now in our world, there's a lot of discussion about Bill Gates, right, with COVID-19. There's a lot of speculations. There's a lot of conspiracy theories, right? And for those that are just jumping on, we're just having a conversation. Feel free to chime in at any moment and just share your thoughts if you're aware of this Microsoft ban. But I'm almost thinking, like, is this have something to do with the campaign, right, that happened where they were saying that Russia got involved and that's how Trump won, right? Or is this
Right.
something more related to the COVID conspiracy that people are talking about? So I don't know what you're thinking, Amel. And anyone else, chime in.
Yeah, let us know what you think. So for me, I'm just like, it's probably a little bit of everything. I try not to be super like conspiracy because if you do, you're never going to live life because you're going to be like, this and this and this and that. So I just try to like not get too involved. So I don't really have like a ton of educated comments on that particular topic, but I do feel like it could be a little bit of everything. And again, just a quick disclaimer. the media is always gonna like make it blow it up or say things that probably is not even happening. Okay, so take things with a grain of salt and like do your research and all that jazz. But I think it's a little bit of everything. It's not necessarily just one thing.
Yeah, and we're not banning Microsoft, right? We still got Microsoft. A lot of us love Microsoft products. So to me,
I'm on one now.
yeah, we're on it right now. So I'm just wondering, like, is this something that we should be concerned as citizens of the United States of America? Gosh, if Russia's concerned and bans them, right? And Russia's like, I want to protect my citizens. Should we be in that same platform? I don't know. Just share your perspective and share your comments. Anyone that's watching, again, like we said before, this is a very engaging show. Share what coffee you're drinking. We have Yamilette. She said she is drinking coffee with hazelnut creamer.
That makes me dance because I love hazelnut.
Yes, hazelnut is very yummy. The Nutella. Oh my God, love Nutella, right? It's hazelnut. Did you know that?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. I'm like, what's she talking about? But yeah. I get what you're talking about.
All right, good stuff. So on another note, and I think this is going to be some good stuff that we're going to be talking about today. And remember, if you share a very intriguing response or comment to the chat, we will bring you on live, and we'll share the link if you want, of course, and we'll have you actually join us live on the conversation, and we get to share you with our viewers. So. Quarantine 15.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a one of those topics that I think we need to address, right? Like as women, what is the one that we used to say in college? The you gain 15 pounds.
The isn't
freshie 15. Wait, I forgot what the word
15.
was.
What is it? College? No, freshman 15, something like that.
Someone help us out.
Who knows?
And write it in the chat. What is it when you gain weight in college, right? You gain those extra pounds because you're staying up late, you're eating unhealthy, right? It's kind of like what's going on right now with the quarantine, right? Like I know slowly but surely things are opening up. I know that some states have closed down again. Right, because people weren't taking precaution and they were not paying attention, putting on their masks, taking care of things. We have, here we go. We got it. It's freshman 15, y'all. We got freshman 15. Thank you, Mary, for definitely sharing that. And then we definitely have other people. A lot of people, Yamilette said, I definitely gained my 15. Right? So going back to, thank you, Yamilette, for sharing. And I think everyone's in that same position. It's not just Yamilette, right? That's why they're calling it the quarantine 15, right? If you're not gaining weight, you might be getting pregnant. Like, I don't know what's it like. It is one or the other, right? Like,
that turned quick. That one went the other way.
Went to left field really quick, right? So I guess that's why we're talking about like the things, us being at home, not being active, even though it's been very much embraced. Like, hey, you need to be active, still go walk, still go for your runs. People are still gaining weight. So, Amell, share with us and everyone that's watching, what are your tips, or what have you done if you have not gained weight? How have you made sure that you've stayed on point? Right, keeping yourself healthy, or have you been? Are you part of the quarantine 15, and have you gained weight, Amell? I don't know.
So, because I'm a little bit of everything, I am not to the extreme. So this is how it's been happening for me. So I was, when the whole quarantine happened, we were doing the Wise Biggest Loser accountability group, right? So that kept me on track, right? Like, girl, you can't be like eating whatever. Like, you still got to weigh in. You know what I mean? It's an amazing community. So if you're trying to lose weight, let us know. But anyway, so when this started, we were doing that. So I was able to kind of, balance it a little bit because I had to like stay on track. But then, we started kind of ending, and I'm like, what am I going to do now? But I usually don't eat too bad, but my thing is like I cook dinner kind of late, so then I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna eat anything, but then I'm tasting it, so then I like, let me just eat a plate. Why not, you know? But I also maintain my weight with 3 simple steps that I do every morning, which is my nutritional system, so that keeps my weight like stable. You know what I'm saying?
Very good. Very
But
good.
yeah, but I do have people in my household that like, yeah, we're pushing there.
Yeah, yeah. We have a rule in our house, and it's really instilled by my husband. He's like, we can't eat after 7. That's his rule, right? And, I never really embraced that rule until I married him, right? Because my family, I don't think in our upbringing we ever like had like here's the time, here's a cutoff, dinner has to be done by this time type thing, right? But it's so ingrained in us now that it's like we eat and five, sometimes 6, we're usually still eating dinner, or I start cooking maybe about 4, right? And I am the one that does handle a lot of the cooking, unless I'm really tired and I'm just gonna order out, right? But I noticed that I've been intermediate fasting. I intermediate fast without saying I intermediate fast. Like I've never really promoted myself as a intermediate faster. But that's part of my life. That's the way that we are. Thank God to my husband, because he's the one that was like, no, after 7. So if I'm not eating after 7 and I'm not really eating breakfast till about 9 or 10, right? Then that right there shows that I'm not eating 12 to, whatever, 13 hours, right? I'm giving myself that much time in between to give myself that break right there. So I don't know if he has if anyone else does intermediate fasting, but for me personally, that's been that's what's helped me all these years. It's helped my family all these years. Is we don't eat late, and I do coffee. It's really big benefit for runners and for people that work out. There's plenty of evidence that talks about black coffee benefiting our bodies to a certain extent, right? Don't be drinking 5-6 cups of coffee, but right. But drinking coffee, especially for the runners in the running world, it is right. Again, black, straight. The stimulation, there's proven evidence that athletes are faster and they run faster, they excel faster when they're working out. So I just wanted to share that. Like I do have coffee in the morning to help me with waking up and getting that energy, because I don't eat past 7.
Yeah, that is so good. That doesn't happen in my household. It should at least, but it's because I don't know about you guys, and I know that every household kind of works differently, but for us, lunch is big. Like, when I used to live with my like with my mom, we would eat dinner at like 6, right? Because like you get home and we're done, like that's it. But now, especially with quarantine, like we're home, like we eat a really big lunch, and then like dinner's kind of like a little snack kind of, but not really. Sometimes it depends. So tell us in the comments, like how does it work? How are your meals?
We've had this conversation, Amell, offline, and I think that's great though, because it is advised that your biggest meal is supposed to be earlier in the day. Right?
Yeah.
Most people are having these huge meals for dinner and they don't realize how heavy they're feeling, right? You guys are the opposite, and it's cultural, right? Right? You're the Dominican Republic. This is a cultural thing.
Yeah.
So I even want to embrace that, because I'm like, look, the meals in the dinner time need to be a lot smaller. But sometimes we have this idea like, oh, our dinners need to be huge, right? Yeah. And I mean, portion sizes, right, are huge. I've learned early on, and these are just things that I implement in my personal life. Like, you guys know how you guys have the plate. I don't feel, in most plates you have a trim in the inside, to, like that little like nook. Yeah, the trim. I don't pass that trim. Like, my food stays in that circumference, that first circle. I know there's some people that when they fill their plates, they're filling it outside of that, right? And I don't do that. So I wanted to kind of share that because that's been also one of the biggest things I've avoided, thank God, the quarantine 15 too. Just like you, Amel. I've been part of Biggest Loser. I just had a baby 8 months ago, so I'm trying to get back into my health routines. And now that the baby's bigger, implement more working out sessions. I finally got my ring back on. This is a big deal. Like I have this. So you know. We have something like non-scale victories that we're always talking about, right, Amel, in our community. And even though I love my scale,
Yeah.
I love my scale. I love it because I have a very good relationship with my scale where it's like, hey, get it together. I talk to
That's
my
one in a
scale.
million.
I talk to my scale like you need to get it together this morning because we ain't on this, right?
That's hilarious.
But the ring, like I have the wedding band and then I have the engagement one, and I couldn't put the engagement one when I got pregnant. I got so big, so swollen that it just couldn't go back on. I only had the band on. And even then I was scared that God, what if like I get so fat that they like cut it off, like at the hospital or something when I'm giving birth because it's cutting my circulation. But no, thankfully I haven't. And then last night I was actually finally able to put on the ring and I was like, oh,
Oh, that's
you know.
good.
Tell me if I could take it off. I don't know about that part, but I was able to put it,
But it went in.
but it went on. That's what counts, right? So I just wanted to have this conversation with you ladies. So we have a couple of comments here actually. Uh,
Awesome. Let's see.
we have Yamilet. She said, I usually eat dinner around 5, but I'm about to start taking my shakes at lunch again. I also started taking the apple cider vinegar gummies and vitamins in the morning. Ooh, apple cider, so good.
Put it in
Um,
your water. That's
yeah,
what I do.
yeah, and it's very potent. So, let
Tidbit.
little tidbit of apple cider vinegar in our water makes a big difference. I love apple cider vinegar. I used to make a tea, lemon, honey, and apple cider vinegar tea hot in the morning.
Oh, that sounds good.
That was good also. And I learned this from my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law is very health conscious, so I'm always like, okay, what's she doing now? Let me see what she's doing now. And I kind of incorporated some of that stuff when we lived together.
Oh, that would explain why your husband doesn't eat after 7.
It does.
Like
It does.
his
It does.
rule. If the mom is self-conscious. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yep, she definitely is. So we have also Mary. She said, I usually eat. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, we have to eat early so that I can go to bed early. Yes, I go to sleep early as well, Mary. So I get that. You don't want to go to sleep with a full belly and feeling all like stuffed in the throat. I agree with that one. We have, Mary also said, we have bigger lunches. Body works all night to break down the bigger dinner, which makes you feel exhausted in the morning. Yes, yes. And, you know,
Yeah.
I love this comment because our body has to break down, right, what we're eating. And,
Whatever. Yeah.
right, so now that and I don't know about you, but I'm dabbling in the running, right? We're doing the running stuff again. I'm getting back into the running gear. That's why I wore my sweater, right? Bank of America, right? Marathon
Yeah,
runner
girl.
right here. So we're getting back into this rhythm of running, and if for those that aren't aware, I am promoting a virtual run that we're going to be having in August.
Yeah.
And for those that register earlier, we're providing training. Like we're like, hey, let's be a little different than these rest of these virtual runs where you just sign up and run. Like I want women who have never ran a 5K before or never ran a 10K or a half say, I'm gonna join because I want to accomplish. It's very doable in 6 weeks, right?
Yep.
So even diet, like eating, like Mel, I know you're going to be running a half with me. If
Mhm.
we're not putting the right things in our body, we're not gonna be able to run. We ain't gonna run.
This is a great conversation that you just brought that up, because I was actually Googling yesterday. I was like, okay, what should I be eating, right? Like, obviously I know I gotta cut down a little bit of whatever my family's eating. I'm not eating all of it, you know what I mean? But what should we stick to? You know what I'm saying? Which is something that I wanted to chat about, which is good. So if you register early, you'll get to know like what are we eating, and Jennifer has actually put a training schedule, which is awesome, and it starts this week. So
Get on
tomorrow.
Get on
Today's
it.
rest day.
Today's rest day. Yes. So let me share this. We have a couple of comments here that I want to make sure. I have been going to sleep for the last few nights around 12 or 1, but last night I went to sleep before 10 and it feels great. Yes, she woke up this morning and prayed. So with us. So amen.
That's awesome.
We have apple cider vinegar. The gummies are delicious though, from Angel.
I've never tried them. You want to send me some, Angel?
Yeah, for real. I've never tried them. We also have, we already shared that one, I believe, breaking down food. Then we have replying to Mary. That makes so much sense. I never really thought about that. So we have conversations within the conversation.
Sounds like us.
Which sounds like us. It always sounds like us. But I think even something to share for those that are considering doing runs, and then Amell, since you're also considering that, is when we are getting our bodies conditioned to running, I've learned that if you're eating horrible, meaning alcohol, right? Mm-hmm. You're consuming a lot of sweets, a lot of heavy stuff, a lot of fried food. Yeah, your run is going to suck. All right. Your body is not going to perform to its max. So I encourage anyone to run or join, this virtual run with us, just because it's definitely going to encourage healthier eating. And for some, we've already been eating healthier, but you're going to notice a difference in your body when you're like, oh, let me really focus on what I'm consuming. Like, you could eat carbs. Don't get me wrong. Runners love carbs. You need carbs, okay? And I gotta
need it.
You need carbs. Everyone that talks about, I'm gonna go for a run, and if you're trying to run without carbs, it's gonna be very difficult, because carbs is that burst of energy, and people don't realize it. It's just a difference between, you got good carbs, you got bad carbs, and it's the carb of fried food, right? Is it fried, which is gonna make a big difference. So like, I'd eat a potato. I don't have no issue eating a potato when I was running. I had no issue eating pasta when I was running. I was burning that, doing 6-mile runs, 7-mile runs, 10, 12. You're burning that stuff off, If anything, your body's like, give me more, So mind you, there's a whole different...
Just a quick little side note.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to add, when I was in track in high school, before every big meet, like, we would have pasta, right? And I just wanted to reiterate, what you're saying, Jen, that's actually like good for running. And you do it, you could do it the night before or whatever, not the night before, but the day before. Just wanted to say that because I thought that was interesting. When my first meet and we had that, I was like,
yep,
we're supposed to be eating salads and stuff. That's the ignorant mentality.
Well, and salads are still good. We love salads, but like, I did the same thing. I was a swimmer, and a lot of people might not know. I was a water polo coach and I was a swim coach for many years throughout high school and college. So I was always training folks, right? And when I would train kids, carbs. I would train adults, carbs, right? We had swim teams for adults and children. So it was like, and when I was in swim team, I had to do the same thing like you, Amell, right? To make sure I'm consuming carbs. So this is a great conversation. Make sure that you chime in, share in the chat. What do you do? What do you know? What are you going to try to implement to get away from quarantine 15? I think we could keep talking about this forever. About eating healthy. But we're going to go on our next topic now. And I think this is going to be the spicy conversation. And I wanted to talk about this because I saw someone in my community or in the Facebook community write a comment about Facebook Father's Day. and how single mothers claim this day for themselves, right? And again, this is not personal, not towards anyone at all, right? This is a conversation between women, and really see, okay, is it valid to say, hey, happy Father's Day to yourself, right? Um, and I want to bring whoever's on that comments and shares the most intriguing answer, whether it's against or for. I do want to invite you on the air and talk to us. Make sure you jump on via Chrome when I send you the link. But yeah, let's see what let's see what the conversations are revolved around this, right? And again, no shame in nobody's game. It's not about who's right or who's wrong, but what are people's thoughts behind it, right? What did you think when I said this, Amell, when I started putting the plan together of these topics today?
So first of all, I laughed at the meme. I was like, yes. So, and second of all, actually, so at first, and I will say, and I always have to say, like, whenever I thought of something before and then it's changed, I always like to point that out, because you're allowed to evolve, right? So when I was younger, I'd be like, oh yeah, kudos to that, single mom, is Father's Day, right? But I want to say something. A lot of times, well, I was thinking like, oh, a bunch of deadbeat dads. You know what I'm saying? However, there's so many good men out here, and I hate that we always want to say, oh, men this and men that, but they're good men out here, just like they're good women, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't agree with, yes, single moms, power to you. You got to do it all. Like, y'all are amazing. My hats to you. However, it's not Mother's Day too. It's not. It's Father's Day. So let fathers have their day, just like how would you feel if it's Mother's Day, but then, the single dads, because there are single dads out here, and they'll be like, no, I want my day too. It's, like, how are you going to feel? You're going to be like, no, I'm a woman and I'm a mother. You know what I mean? So I don't agree with the whole, like, it's their day too. No, it's Father's Day. Let them be. And just so you guys know also, like, Dominicans have a different Father's Day. So I don't know if you caught it. I didn't say anything about Happy Father's Day to the men in my life, because we're all Dominicans. So we celebrate it in July. So you'll see me in July being like, Happy Father's Day. Y'all gonna be like, what?
Oh, okay. Yeah. And this is bringing some cultural awareness here. I wasn't even aware of that. That's pretty cool to know. And I think, yes, in my personal opinion, right? Again, if you want to say it, go for it, right? Say Happy Father's Day to yourself. Mm-hmm. From me, and how I'm seeing it is, right, we are not fathers. Women are not equipped to be a father. Like, let's be real. Let's bring it down, right? Let's bring it down to some more, I guess, factual, or right, the way that we are as women, we have a different side. Can we, of course, provide financially? Hell yeah, we can provide financially, right? Women are killing it
all day, every day.
Right? Economically, yes, you can sustain a household. You can make enough money to survive, to provide. Is it easy? Hell no. It's not easy to be one single household. So of course, I want to make sure I make that note. Yeah, we can provide financially and support, but why is it that when fathers are vacant out of the household, statistically, right, there's a lot more crime rates. There's a lot more the child in itself struggle a lot more when the father is not there, not present, right? And I'm not going to go into actual details. I haven't actually pulled up facts, but I'm positive that you can look up stuff on what happens to a household without a father's presence, and it shows what are the acts, right, of or I should say the studies, right? So I wanted to point out, there is a need for a father or a father figure, presence in the household, right? In my opinion. And there's plenty of evidence to prove that. So as women, I feel like, well, can we really provide that father figure? Or right? Not really. We cannot provide that discipline the way that a man would bring it. And I might be wrong. Maybe some households function with different gender roles, right? And that's not to say that it hasn't excelled or it hasn't. It could have very well have. But I'm really just pointing out the fact that, there's a reason why in the household, certain households thrive, right? When there's a father figure, a father presence, and there's plenty of evidence to prove it. So why are we saying that we can be this masculine entity, right? So I guess this is why I wanted to bring that conversation to the forefront. And I know a lot of people may be silent right now, but I want to hear from you guys. Like, what are your opinions on single mothers? Because I don't think that, in my opinion, I don't think that the woman can fill that father presence, right? I don't believe so. I might be wrong, but this is one of those open conversations where people can chime in and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, hey, Jennifer, I grew up with a single family home and my mom was both the dad and she provided that fatherly presence. I can't see that. So maybe I'm wrong. So someone let me know what their thoughts are on that, Amell.
Yeah, and I want to point something out too, Jen, and I think the definition, what you just said, is very precise, right? And a lot of times we say things without even thinking why we're saying it. So people could be like, oh yeah, I'm a mom and a dad, because I provide and I'm also this motherly thing. But what you just said was very specific. Can you bring that masculine kind of energy to the household, right? That's different, so that will get people to think about it differently. So share in the comments, guys, like what are you thinking? What comes to your mind when you hear women say, oh, it's my day too, or like, happy Father's Day to me.
Yeah, we have Mary. She wrote replying, "We will never understand the male mind," and I think there's plenty of even we've had a speaker come and say, men's minds, women are like noodles, right? Our minds are like noodles, and men minds are like more like compartments. Like, I am a firm believer that we are yin and yang, right? We think differently, and I don't want. And for me, I don't want my husband to be my girlfriend. Like, no, like I don't want my husband to be like how I would be with my friends that are women. Like that to me is like, no, I want a husband and a man. That's why we can say, hey, the men are awesome. They provide something that women cannot do, right? What I'm saying, like there's a different energy in the household. So that's why I think this is a great conversation. But again, like this is only my opinion, and I'm humble to like, hey, if you guys don't agree, it's all right. I'm good with that. And you said a good point earlier when it comes to just even having the male presence in the home, like, you have your Father's Day for Dominicans, and we everyone knows that that's for Father's Day, right? Like, I don't know in the Dominican Republic if any single women there say, Father's Day, Happy Father's Day to themselves as single mothers. I don't know.
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know if they do that. I'm a little disconnected to like everything, right? I'm just like with my internal thing, but I know that like our mothers and my family and everybody that I know, we don't do that. Like we wouldn't be like, oh, it's my day too. It's dedicated to them, to the men that are important, that are playing their role of being present. And I was listening to a podcast yesterday about the male and female energies, and it was similar to what we've heard a speaker say, right? Like our minds are, everything is interconnected, and that's why we feel so overwhelmed a lot of the times, because everything is connected. So in our minds, a lot of things are going on, but sometimes it's just our mind, it's not reality. But the male, like the male thought is one box per session. So they were talking about like when you're a woman and you want to talk to your man, to your spouse about something, you wait until you have that time. Don't like throw it out at him when he's like fixing a light bulb or something. That was just random.
No, that is exactly, you are absolutely right. Do not come at your husband or boyfriend or whatever significant other when he's doing an activity, because he ain't in there. He ain't there. He's in a whole different world.
Okay, can I share a petty moment real quick? So yesterday, right, I just finished listening to this podcast. Okay, I just finished getting educated. So then my husband was helping me with this box, and then he starts texting. So pettiness me go, I thought you could only do one thing at a time. Can we focus real quick for this? And he was like, what do you mean? I could do multiple things. I was like, okay. But I was just trying to get him to hurry up, right? And he was like texting. But I just found it funny. I'm like, I just learned about this and I'm using it over here. Like,
yeah, like, hey, you're supposed to think in compartments. You're supposed to think in compartments, not like us, right? Which I think that's why that was my thinking when it comes to like the Father's Day. Like, again, single moms, yes, you can handle it. You can handle a household. You can pay financially. You can provide. And by the way, it is not an easy thing to be a single mom. Like, for those that are single moms, kudos to you. If you've been single, for whatever amount of time. And I think the person that when I saw this post, she said she was a single mom for 22 years, which I was just like, oh my God, right? Like, it is like not only being a single parent household, it's exhausting, right? Like, the emotional support that you do not get is so you do not get to like unwind the way that if it was a 2-parent home where you can just depend on the other person to, okay, can you handle this and I handle that, right? It's all on you now, everything. So again, I'm not taking away from the single moms, but I do feel like, well, Father's Day is to really recognize fathers that are doing an absolute amazing job and they're killing it. And again, they bring this energy to the house that a woman doesn't, in my opinion, bring to the home, right? So I just wanted to make sure that we share that. Again, this is just personal opinion. Anyone that wants to chime in, it's I see that we have viewers, but they're a little silent right now. I guess maybe everyone's processing, right? Processing what we're talking about.
Saying.
Yeah, like I'm reading this one book right now. It's called Fierce Women, and in this book, it really talks about how we demasculate men in our society, right? And I'm not taking it to another step now. I'm taking this to a whole nother step, right? I'm taking this to a whole nother level.
Yeah, there's a whole other conversation.
There's a whole different conversation. But I'm wondering if us as women saying Happy Father's Day to us, how are the men going to feel when a woman is like, Happy Father's Day to me? Like, then now they're feeling inadequate. Like, well, damn, if it's Happy Father's Day to you, what about me? Like, then, what are men needed in this society for if women can do it all, right? Like, if women can do it all, and now this is going to go into a whole different type of topic. Well, now this opens doors to marriages. This opens doors. I mean, in the book, it even talked about fashion. All right. It talked about how even as women in the fashion industry, we're trying to put pantyhose on men and we're trying to put them in skirts. Yeah. If you look at these high-end fashion runway shows, and again, this is just, we're talking about heterosexual men, all right? We're not going into, don't bring me all this other stuff, right? We're talking about heterosexual men, all right? So I'm wondering if society is even trying to, and again, I might be wrong, but trying to demasculate a man. And I want women to understand, like, hey, if we start doing this, are we gonna, how are the men gonna feel about this? Or is this part of the demasculation, right? I'm just putting that out there. It's not. It could be a ticking time bomb for some
Yeah,
folks.
and yeah, no, I agree with that because and I know because I've seen it, right? I didn't see it that much this year, but I've seen it in previous years. People say, "Oh, this is just referring to the deadbeat dads, right? Like the good ones are separate." No, they're still men. You know what I mean? And I know that like some women are like, "Oh, it's just because the deadbeats," but no, 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 it's all men. And I think, and this is a little side note connection to what you just said, though. I feel like we want men to show up. We want men to show up a different way, to be what we want them to be, but yet we don't even give them the option to. We don't even let them, right? Because we're so like, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it, but then we don't even let them show up. So like, girl, come on, like, what are we gonna do? You gotta pick a side. Either you're gonna encourage the men in your life, or you're gonna support them. Let them feel like a man. That's something that I had to learn in my marriage too. Like, we're so caught up in like, you can do it all, you got this, you got that, but like, men are there to help you, to be a team, especially in marriage. I'm coming from like the marriage perspective, right? So help them show up. Don't just be like this like person that like doesn't want, you want better, but you don't give them the opportunity to.
Yeah,
That's not fair.
yeah, for sure. So I'm going to I agree totally. I understand where you're coming from. I get it from the marriage perspective, right? We gotta let the man have his, and I think I even have like a couple women even agreeing, right? Like we have someone here, Mary Yee. We recognize those men who do know how to father. We can't always be about me, 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 me,
Amen.
right? We have someone, I don't agree with women being acknowledged for Father's Day. If some men choose to not be a father, that doesn't, I'm assuming she's saying, doesn't make it acceptable. It cuts off the rest of the comment. Does not be a father. That doesn't make a woman a father. That's just the mom, one badass, awesome, exceptional mother, right? A woman is a mother, not a
Amen.
father. I like that. We also have, I think no matter what, even if you are a single mother, you need to acknowledge men, because of it wouldn't be because of that man, you wouldn't have been able to even be a mother. Yeah, absolutely. Like acknowledge the fact that, hey, you're a mom because all right, it takes two to tango. I agree with that. This is good conversation. So if I went ahead and I'm going to go ahead and share, I want to bring on. I'm sharing the link. Whoever jumps on it first, we welcome you to jump on and just share your opinion real quick. And I know that we have some people that are at work that are kind of listening. Maybe that's why they're not engaging as much, which is totally fine. If you can jump on, jump on. I think Yamilet had a great response and we can bring her on the air. But if no one, of course, oops, I apologize. If you can't, totally understandable, but we definitely want to bring people on the air if they can come on the air and join us live. So this is a great conversation, everyone. Amell, great points. I think we all did. We did some great combos. Now I know that we have to unfortunately stop talking. We could keep talking about this stuff. Let's go to and please keep bringing in the answers. Feel free to keep chiming in and bringing in the answers. And Yamile, if you want to jump on, for sure, still jump on and share your answer live or what your thoughts are. But I know that we're going to shift over to Amell has 10 tips, right? Amell wants to share 10 tips on being productive. So we're talking about quarantine, right? We're talking about getting fit and health. We just had this whole conversation about being healthy and little things that we can do and how we can support you as a community, as of course, right? We'll talk about that. But I wanted to Amell to take the stage and talk about these 10 tips for you guys to be more productive.
Sure thing. So these tips are specific to my headphones. I got cold for a second because my coffee ya se acabó.
No more coffee?
No, yeah. So I wanted to talk about these productive tips that I saw at the Week Done blog. I can share that link in the comments. These are specific to when you're actually working, right? Like when you have your 9 to 5 or whatever. However, I feel like they're very generic in a way because it could be used in anything. So I'm going to try to also bring in, if you're not in a 9 to 5, you're an entrepreneur, or maybe you're a stay-at-home mom, or maybe you're just kind of chilling right now because you're waiting for a job, whatever that might be. Okay. So I'm going to try to connect them all to fit everybody. So the top 10 tips, again, this is from a blog called Week Done, and I'll share that later. Okay. So number 1 is to optimize your plans, right? So what does that mean? That means prioritize what you need to get done that week, right? And it could be anything. If you're working on a project, like for me, we're working on some implementations that we're not done yet, but I know that this week I have some assignments, some work projects that need to be done, right? To move the project along. So prioritize what needs to get done. If you're an entrepreneur, most likely you have a monthly goal of whatever you need to bring in or whatever project you're pushing out. What's priority this week? If you're a stay-at-home mom, right, you need to schedule appointments. You need to make sure meal planning is done, whatever that may look like for you. Number 2, focus one thing at a time. And I gotta say, I used to brag about how much I can multitask. And let's be real, during this quarantine, I realized I suck. Multitasking is distracting, and it could be a little dangerous if you don't do it correctly. So I found myself kind of like, okay, perfect example. How many ladies, if you're listening, put it in the comments. How many of you, because this weekend I went through this whole cleaning haul in my household. I do that once a month. No, I'm lying. Twice a month. I do real deep. This weekend was the the counter where you have all your Tupperware and stuff. Y'all know how crazy that gets. Okay, so this weekend was that kind of cleaning. So anyway, I was cleaning, and I'll be I forgot I had to do this, but I'm doing one activity, and I was trying to multitask and clean 10 things at once. I know y'all can relate, so put it in the comments. Tell me, do you do that? It's like that video on Facebook that I forgot to clean that, and I'm cleaning that, and then you stop, and then the spouse came home, and the girl's he's why is the house dirty? And she's you don't even know. I've been doing so much. That's how I felt this weekend.
My God. Just to chime in, that happens all the time. When I really get into a rhythm, I start cleaning the most randomest things ever. And then the main things that you see in the forefront are not even touched. It's you don't have no clue. That's happened to me so many times.
Exactly. And now I'm learning. That's been a definitely learning thing for me, making sure that when I'm multitasking, it's related to the topic. So bringing it back home, because I went a little off. Focus on one thing, and if you have to multitask, make sure that they're related to that one task. Don't do completely different things because it will throw you off, and then you're not going to do nothing. Number 3. We're at number 3 is to review your progress. So each week, What have you done? What worked? What didn't work? And be honest with yourself. Like, it doesn't have to be an always like I got everything done this week. It could be I got some done. I didn't get this done. How can we rearrange?
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, communicate when problems come up. So if you work with a team, this is where this communication comes into play. Figure out, okay, do you have enough time to do this? Is like, it's Wednesday and you haven't even gotten to X, Y, and Z, and you know that that's going to take longer. Communicate with your team. If you're a one-man show, communicate with yourself and be realistic of what you need to get done and reprioritize. It's okay to do that at any point. Number 5 is learn to say no, right? You can say no to things that don't have to get completed this week. You can get, let's say you have multiple projects, but like the main ones need to get done this week. You can say no to the rest and put them on the table for next week, right? The same for an entrepreneur. A lot of times, a lot of opportunities come about. You don't have to say yes to everything, right? If you're at home or a single mom, if you're stay-at-home mom, you don't have to say yes to everything. Sometimes you don't want to go to the park. It's okay. We've been there. Number 6 is to plan your next week after you've done your review for the current week. So in other words, when you've already reflected on your progress, do it right then and there. Okay, what am I changing? What's happening next? And I will say, can I do a quick because as you can see, we have a lot of little segments within the segments. If you're looking to stay connected with your goals or to focus or to learn how to do life better and you're in that crossroads where you feel stuck, WISE has an amazing coaching program that we're starting up this month. Sorry, Jan, I feel like it just kind of it works well. So I'm just going to go in there for it. So